I'm Ronan, that's Wadsworth, and this is Now Z Here. At the beginning of this month, when I wasn't certain of the timeline at which I would be able to get my hormones, my testosterone, I decided that this month was going to be a month of self-care topics. There's a lot to be talked about always when it comes to self-care, but in terms of this month, this is going to be the last in the series of self-care topics for now. I'm going to finish out the month by speaking on an area of self-care that I, Ronan, have not always been the best at, and that is sleep and rest. My husband is probably watching this on YouTube later and nodding and chuckling to himself because he knows it's true. Sleep is one of the most basic things a person can do in order to help our cognitive health, our physical health, just our day-to-day functioning. And I hate it. Sleep is boring, sleep is tedious, sleep takes up time that I could otherwise spend doing things other than just lying there. I've gone through several phases in my life where it is difficult to get to sleep, and I'll need some music playing in the background or to put something on the television or on my phone just so I have some sound. Otherwise, my brain is going to spiral off into I don't know where. Being left alone with my own thoughts can be very stressful sometimes, and when the assumption is you need to be left alone with your own thoughts in order to get to sleep, getting to sleep becomes a stressful situation. Now, yes, on the other side of the spectrum, it is possible to sleep too much, and if someone is chronically oversleeping, that could be a sign of depression in and of itself or of some other health issue. I am not a medical professional. I don't even play one on television. But if you think there's an issue, you should discuss that with a doctor. But undersleeping, not sleeping enough, is a real problem. And again, it is one of the most basic things we can do to boost our creativity, to help our general brain function, and our physical health as well. So what have I done to help myself sleep more and sleep better? As with any situation or practice in our lives that could use adjusting, just acknowledging the fact that it could be adjusted is the first step. Personally, I got myself one of these. It's a Fitbit, one of the ones with the little heart rate monitor on the other side. It tracks my sleep throughout the night, whether I'm restless, and actually adds up the general amount of time that I've spent asleep. More importantly, it allows me to set a goal for myself that I can be conscious of and remember, oh, I'm trying to get at least 7 hours of sleep. I really should be heading to bed at a particular time. It's also helped me understand that just because I went to bed at, say, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, that doesn't mean that when I wake up at 6:30 a.m. to go to work, that I'm going to have had 8.5 or 9.5 hours of sleep. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7.5 or 8.5 hours of sleep. Because those periods of restlessness exist, and because it does take a while to actually get into a sleep state. Understanding more about sleep in general and about the way you specifically sleep can be a big step in getting to a place where you have more healthy sleeping habits. There are a lot more affordable ways than a Fitbit to track sleep. There are any number of free sleep tracking apps if you have a smartphone. So definitely something to look into one way or another. I highly recommend some kind of sleep tracking. Another thing that unexpectedly helped me a lot in being conscious of and adjusting my sleep schedule was to reference last week's video, getting a pet. Once we'd had Cole for a little while and I realized that he is pretty much always going to wake us up at a specific time, which coincidentally nicely coincides with about the time I have to get up for work. And also with the unpredictable nature of cats who could be tearing around the apartment at any given hour of the night and making noise and disturbing sleep time, I found myself becoming more and more conscious of the need to go to bed at a particular time in order to get the amount of sleep that I needed. A couple more tips for anyone out there if, like me, you are sleep averse and generally think of it as a chore. Tip 1. Mentally prepare yourself for the nights that you know you're going to be getting less sleep. Of course, you can't always know when those nights are coming up, but also if you're like me and you have a fairly variable schedule, that is to say, a variable schedule in the evenings, because I have a day job that I have to get up for, every weekday, but I'll occasionally have a gig or a show or something that keeps me out fairly late on a weeknight. Just being able to be conscious of and hold the thought in my mind of, I know I'm going to be tired the next day, it helps. Tip 2. Forgive yourself for taking naps. I didn't always take naps. And when I started to, especially if they were accidental naps, those do happen, just lying down and you go, oh, okay. Oh, wow, I'm really tired. It's 2 hours later. I would mentally kick myself for having nodded off. Unless taking that accidental nap caused you to miss something really vital, please forgive yourself. You needed that sleep. That nap was your body and your brain's way of saying, we need some downtime now. And now that you've had it, you can get right back into it as fast as you can through, the post-nap grogginess. Anyway, those are my thoughts about sleep and rest. It's still really not my favorite thing, but I am learning to love it. Thank you for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you really enjoyed it, and I hope tonight you have some sweet dreams. Always be changing.